Hello everyone, in this video we're going to be graphing point slope form. I've shown you how to write the equation, and this time we're just going to focus on the graphing part and the understanding part. As a little bit of review, go ahead and write this in your journal because I don't think that I ever said it in those words. I showed you point slope form by example, but I didn't give you the definition for it, and it's been a while since you had your vocabulary. We're going to skip the first couple sections because we've already written in point slope form before. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to find the slope of this graph up here, and we are going to put it into point slope form. To find the slope, we need 2 points. We have 0, -3, and we also have 2, 1. Let's find the change in the y, which is 1 minus -3 over the change in the x. If 1 was y2, then the first x is going to be 2 minus 0. We get 4 over 2, which is 2. M is equal to 2. Now, if we just take that m and one of the points, I'm going to choose the -3. We get y plus 3 equals 2 x, just 2x, that's it. Because the x in the point was 0. What advantage does slope-intercept have over point-slope form? Slope-intercept is better for making a table. Or if the y-intercept is shown. Point slope form is better if you don't have the y-intercept. Another person wrote the equation as y plus 1 equals 2x minus 1. Okay, so the slope, that's right. Now we just need to check if this point and this point, if the x and the y are the right numbers. Okay, so whenever we put them into this point slope form, we change the sign. So if I pull this -1 and I put it as a coordinate, I have to change the sign of it. And if I take this y and it's positive in the equation, then it's going to be negative outside of the equation, because point slope form negates. It does the opposite of however the coordinate looked. So we need to check and see if 1, -1 is on the graph. 1, -1 is on the graph. Part F wants us to change from point slope into slope-intercept form. So y plus 1 equals 2x minus 1. Oh, but it says the general forms. So for the general form, we have to do y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. We're going to change from this way to be y equals. To do that, let's distribute and let's add y1. If we do that, then we will have y on the left, y1 cancels, mx minus mx1 plus y1. Then, in point slope form, x1 that's something that we know, and y1 is something that we know. And if we know their value, then we can plug in for them, and they're just regular constants. They're not variables whenever we're actually graphing or anything like that. X1 and Y1 are not variables. So then if both of these are just regular numbers, because she plugged in 1, -1, if we put these numbers and put them down there, then we would just have a regular number combined together. So this is mx plus b. If you said that b was equal to minus mx1 plus y1, then we can replace what I have circled with just the letter b. That's a little bit of advanced math, but if you plugged in the numbers, you would see that it makes perfect sense. And you did. You did that type of example when I gave you the numbers before. So this one, me. This one, you. First, let's take the point. We're going to take the -3 and the +5 and pull them out. If we pull out that +5, then it's really a -5. And if I pull out the -3, it's really a +3. The x-intercept, I don't know. The slope, I do know. It's -3/4. Using this point and using that slope, let's graph that. So let's go 5 to the left and up 3. And then let's use that slope. The slope says rise over run. Our rise is going to be a -3. So we're going to go down 3 and we're going to go over 4. Then down 3, over 4. Now that we made that graph, we can find the y-intercept and the x-intercept. The y-intercept is this spot right there. And since our slope is 3/4, I'm going to guess that this is y equals -3/4, because it looks like it's a little bit more than halfway. If you look at where that line is crossing, it looks like it's a little tiny bit lower than halfway, and it should be, because our slope is not 0.5, it's 0.75. Now let's find the x-intercept. The x-intercept is on the x-axis, and that's a regular point right there. That's -1, 0. And since I put that one as a coordinate, I should go ahead and fix this. 0, -3/4. Okay, you do number 2 on your own. I'll show you the answer in a bit, but you should try it on your own before you do your practice today. Okay, in this next part, it looks like we're learning something new. If we're doing parallel, then that means we need it to have the same slope. Parallel has 2 L's and 1 R. This is something really important, so write down that note. Parallel lines have the same slope. We want it to be parallel to that equation, and we want it to pass through that point. How we're going to find the slope from this standard form equation is we're going to solve for y equals. Y is equal to, okay, but to do that, I would need to move the 5y over. I want to move the 5y over here, and I'm going to move the negative 5 over here, so I have 6x minus 5. And then if I divide by 5, I have y is equal to 6/5 x minus 1. And this piece is my slope, so I'm going to use m equals 6/5 y minus, and we're going to use this point, 6 equals 6/5 x plus 4. Box it. Parallel lines have the same slope and everything else about them is different. If the slope is the same, then your lines are going to be parallel. Now let's find it going through these 2 points. We're going to do y minus, and we need the slope. M equals 4 minus negative 2 over 5 minus 3. 6 over 2 equals 3. And now I'm going to pick this point. Y minus 4 equals 3 x minus 5 in parentheses. Easy. You do it from the graph. Remember, we found the slope first, and then we used any point that they told us to use. There's your answer. Here's a real world problem. This person's going to a gym. They paid $20 a month, and they also paid a fee. After 15 months, they paid $450. So this 15 and 450, that's an ordered pair. $20 per month, that's the slope. So if we write the point slope form of this, all we have to do is say y minus 450 equals 20 x minus 15. We're going to explain the meaning of each constant. The constants are the ones that are not variables. So let's start with 450. $450 is the y associated with 15 months for x. So that explained 2 of them. Now we need to explain the 20. $20 is the monthly fee. Then it wants us to rewrite the equation into slope-intercept form. So we have done something like this before. We'll distribute the 20. Our step is going to be distribute the 20 and add the 450. So y equals 20x minus 300 plus 450. I could do 15 times 20 really easily because I'm used to not using a calculator. 20x plus 150 is the equation. Here, 150, that's the y-intercept, which means it happens at 0, 150, and the x's are counting the months. So at 0 months, it costs $150. So that means that $150 is the price to sign up. Some gyms don't have a starting fee, but if they don't have a starting fee, then what they do is they just charge you more every month. But the problem is a lot of people don't have money right away. People are okay with spending a little bit of money every month, but what's hard for them to do is to save up money and make one big spend. And that's why some people would rather pay more per month, similar to like a credit card, than just saving some cash and then paying whatever fees going on. This is the last one we'll do together, and that's because it says domain and range. So this is something that's a bit older for review. We're going to do the domain and range of this last one. So we have 20x plus 150. 150 is going to be there because halfway to 200 is 100. So 150 is halfway between 100 and 200. Then we're going to use the slope. Or actually, we have a point. We know the point 15, 450. So let's fit that point on here. 15 with 450. Let's connect it and go through it. The reason why we don't go to the left is because this is months and we don't have negative months. And the y-axis is the price. Or the total price. It wants the domain and the range. So for the domain and the range, that means what x's can you use, and the range is what y's does the graph use. The graph doesn't use any y's lower than that. These ones, it doesn't use them. If you're lower than 150, we don't want you. That's the range. So range 150 is the lowest we can use, and we're going to pick things that are greater than 150. They're going to be the y's, but they're also going to be less than infinity. Not equal to, but less than infinity. So you could spend however much money you make, you can keep on spending money at this gym membership until you die. We can write this a different way though. Because this line is going to keep on going forever and ever, forever and ever and ever. It's going to keep on going up, and it's going to keep on going to the right. It's going to keep on going up forever. So what we can say is that y is greater than or equal to 150. Anything that's bigger than 150 is okay. Now let's find the domain. That's going to be super easy. Where do the x's start? From here and go on. You can start from 0 and continue counting however many months. So 0 is less than or equal to x, and that's less than or equal to infinity. Or we can say that in one single inequality instead of compound one by saying x is greater than or equal to 0. Are the intercepts included in the domain and the range? Okay, the y-intercept is at 150, and 150 is actually where the range started. The x-intercept, the x-intercept, that would be where you touch the x-axis, and that would have happened back here at a negative number. But since we don't have negative numbers when we're talking about time, the x-intercept is not in this situation. Alright, now that we've done all that practice, you're going to have to just do something very similar to what we just went through, but I'm going to cross out that word perpendicular and say parallel. We'll save perpendicular lines to for a different time. Find a parallel line for that. For all these other ones, you're just writing point slope form. You can do it. This one, it looks bad, but it's not. And I'll say don't do number 5. Okay, good luck on your assignment.